Now let's discuss integrated agribusiness. In Nigeria, there's a national integrated agribusiness agenda and initiative of the Nigeria Agribusiness Group as designed to provide a comprehensive strategy for transforming Nigeria's agricultural sectors with a core focus on empowering small-scale producers and recognizing agribusiness as a cornerstone of the country's economy. It emphasizes significant contribution of GDP, employment, food security, and rural development. It also offers critical analysis of key challenges facing the sector, such as inadequate infrastructure, limited access to finance, inefficient supply chains, and outdated technology. And we have the components of the National Integrated Agribusiness. They're looking at small-scale producers to address their challenges, access to finance. That's top on the list among all other things. So we have some individuals also who are pushing this agenda from their own side. And one of them is Dr. Emmanuel Wycliffe, is the founder and chief executive officer of HtF Innovative Products Manufacturing Limited, right here in the studio. Dr. Wycliffe, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning and nice to meet with you.
Great. So obviously from the name, integrated agribusiness is supposed to combine the different aspects of agriculture and all, and it's supposed to give a wholesome production. Yes. For the nation, and we've heard enough of the threat of food insecurity, yes, even this year in Nigeria, and yes, we have a lot of potential. So what difference does this approach of integrated agribusiness, what difference does it make?
Okay, like you mentioned, this is a holistic approach. Just like for anything to succeed, you have to look at it from a strategic point of view that is futuristic, and we'll be able to handle each problem at every stage along the line. It's quite possible to try to fix a problem at one point, but you have to look at the origin. And as you mentioned earlier, the government has an integrated solution. We take it a step backward and forward. Okay. So we're looking at this, just like I mentioned initially, a holistic approach. And earlier on, I'm a fan of the channel news. And I was watching most of the eminent individual that has been on the show. Earlier, just before I came in, there's a mention of agriculture and manufacturing, which is what we do. This project combines everything together that irrelevant of what is happening in the market. It's still able to sustain itself, still able to provide jobs, still able to provide food for the people, and merge the subsistence farmers, the small farmers, and everybody in between together to make it work. Also, we look further into the future, between now and 2050. There's more talk about population growth. Just before I came in, the population of Nigeria is 238 plus counting. By 250, it's going to be 400 plus and counting. So we look at the whole thing between now and 25 years from now. Now, 25 years may be a distant future, but it's right around the corner.
But doesn't the advantages of specialization and the threat of jack of all trades, yes, master of none, doesn't it come into play here?
No, not at all. Because it addresses a specific solution to a specific area that is plaguing Nigeria for some time now. We specifically look at, this is what is called Blue Ocean Strategy. We'll solve a problem that affects everything else in between.
Could you give us an example to help us understand it better?
For example, you have the cattle herders and the farmers' problem. That is there, is not going to go away. The solution to that is what we are providing. That because since I've been in country since August, I've gone across northern states and some southeastern state and south state. You see cattle on the road, and how long can that go? Those cattle are looking for food, they're looking for water, they don't mean any harm. That is what we are addressing. If we're able to address that and contain it And every cattle owner and farmers will benefit from us because we include them.
Tell us how this approach will solve that problem.
Okay, it will take the cattle off the road in the first place, because those cattle herders, they are driving towards the market. We buy it from them. So, and then we encourage them to bring us more of their cows to buy. The owner of the cattle itself is an individual or maybe some corporation that wants to get paid. When those cattle leave from their point of origin, by the time they get to the market, they are much more skinnier than they were before. So we take care of that, and we take care of them off the road, and then we raise them, feed them. All this is going to be in the rural communities. So we address unemployment in rural communities. We address vandalism, or what leads to that. And then we also provide jobs for those that are graduating, those that have graduated, and those that will be graduating. We increase employment, rural development, infrastructures, and roads, and you'll see the migration from the congested city into the rural area that is going to be developed on this project, as a result of this project that we're working on. So it encapsulates everything. It provides a living wage for people, which is what has been on the news all along since I've been here. And I've been studying this condition since 2017, before I decided to come over here. So everything is inclusive. It goes stage by stage. It's not based on hope, but it's based on reality. And it's also based on most conservative estimates. So we underestimate the results, knowing that the outcome is a whole lot better than that.
Okay, so you buy the cattle along the way. You don't wait for them to get to the market, and you deal with it in the rural areas.
Yes.
But your market is still mostly in the urban area.
Yes. Now, we don't buy it along the way. We go to where they are, so they don't have to leave that area and get on the street or in people's farms. We go to them. You have this to sell, or they call us. We go pick it up from there, put it in on the area where we have secured in the rural area to take care of that. Now, we're also going to be doing meat processing and dairy processing. We're also going to be having manufacturing. We're going to be having electrification. We're going to be having processing, feed processing, fence making process, manufacturing. That's the reason why you see A&M in our company name, and agriculture and manufacturing. So that, because when you bring the cattle to a place, I've raised cattle now for about 21 years in Texas. So I have an idea, and I work with the USDA for about 7 years. So I was livestock engineering design. So I did all those watering system, well system, and along the line and piping. So all those experiences I'm bringing to bear. Plus I also have experience in environmental management.
Have you brought in the Nigerian factors? Yes, you have been successful in Texas.
Yes.
But as we speak, a lot of farmers do not go to the farm because of insecurity. You talk about how you're going to get it done in the rural. There's electricity, storage facility, preservation. And even when you have done all of that, you still have to get it back to your market, because that's where you're going to make your money from.
Yes.
The infrastructure, the logistics involved, have you captured those in your plan?
Everything is in our plan, even up to when it gets to the market. There's also always a multiplier effect, that for every job that we create, there's going to be 4 to 5 jobs that is going to be created. And because we're trying to create wealth, we don't want to do everything. We want to give entrepreneurs, small business people, opportunities to grow out of us, so that they will be able to get loan, which is something that is mentioned all across the line since I've been here, that is difficult for small business people to get a loan. But when there's a market, there's a product for the market, and they have place how to take it to where they're going, because the market is already there. Nigeria import about 90% of their milk, dairy products into Nigeria. I do have friends in Texas that still ship containers of rice to the country. Now, is rice produced in Nigeria? Yes, it is. But is this shipped out? Yes, it is shipped out. But yet, Nigeria is still importing. So we have stages along the line. As soon as this ground is secured, as soon as we start planting, start building our manufacturing plants, all this process is going to be in tandem. That will take everything we make. If we don't use it on our place, location, it's going to be sold out within the country, outside the states, and outside the country. So all this is already planned out. Is a 7-year.
Are you working with any government, federal, states, local?
Yes.
Because you need government licenses.
Yes.
Even for you to get your place of operation,
Yes.
the movement of your equipment and all of that.
Yes, we've been working since last year. We've been working with some states in Nigeria, 12 as a matter of fact. They already heard
12
about.
states. What parts of the country?
In the north central, in the southeast, and south. We've made the attempt at southwest, but there's been some challenges, and then which is not insurmountable. But where we have challenges, we keep them in the loop, but we focus on where we have been received and we have been encouraged, and it's been an overwhelming success.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
Because, I mean, issues like land titling, and we hear those things are like hindrances to some of these projects.
There's a good point you brought up. Some people will say land grabbing, which is different from what we're doing. What we're doing is that when we get the land, the government owes the title to the land until certain conditions are fulfilled. Then we'll buy it from completely outright. So it's going to belong to the company. When we create jobs, when we start building, developing, when the roads are there, and we meet all those conditions, then the transfer exchange comes in, plus the taxes. The government, each state will have equity, 10% equity in the project for perpetuity. They're going to be collecting tax. We'll collect it for them just like every company does, and then we'll send it back to the government. Everything is transparent. Yes.
So you're working with state governments?
Yes.
Wow. Well, we certainly do wish you success. I mean, because a rich country like Nigeria shouldn't be talking about the threat of food insecurity, and yes, we have that hanging over our head. So we certainly hope that this works, and then we'll see the results.
Me too.
All right, thank you so much. Dr. Emmanuel Wycliffe is the founder and chief executive officer of HtF Innovative Products Manufacturing Limited.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. And Thank you for having me.
Good to have you.